The sun rose as it always did, indifferent to the weight we carried. Another day of the long drag, another day of bone-deep weariness. My shoulders already burned from yesterday's labor. I could feel the stone in my bones before I even stood up. We were born to pull, born to carry. That was the law of the tribe, but my body was beginning to forget how to hope. A groan escaped my throat, a sound as old as the mountains we climbed every day. The elder did not need words. His gesture said it all. The stones had to move. The fire must be fed. I followed his hand toward the valley. It felt like a journey to the edge of the world. The pile was larger than yesterday, larger than any I had ever seen. My spirit sank lower than the ground beneath it. I wondered if this was the day my back would finally break, the day the earth would claim me. I wasn't alone in my suffering. Around me, the tribe moved like ghosts of their former selves. Every step was a battle, every breath a prayer for the end of the day. I cinched the vines tight. The wood bit into my skin, a familiar, cruel embrace. The weight settled on my soul before it even hit my shoulders. I stood, and the world grew heavy. One step, that was all I could promise, just one step at a time. The earth resisted us. It wanted the stones to stay where they were. It wanted us to stay still. The path was a treacherous spine of rocks and roots. Each one was an enemy waiting to trip me. The snap of the rope, the jar of the wood, it rattled my teeth, but I kept pulling. I had to. I stopped when the air felt like fire in my lungs, just for a heartbeat, just to remember how to breathe. The sun was a relentless eye watching us toil. It didn't care for my blisters or my pride. I grit my teeth. The pain was a companion now. We walked together into the heat. My muscles screamed, but my mind was silent. There was only the pull, only the weight. Then the earth bit back. The sled hit stone and would not move, not an inch. I gave it everything. My strength, my anger, my last shred of hope. But the mountain was stronger. Then the world slipped. My strength vanished like smoke in the wind. I hit the ground, and for a moment I wanted to stay there, to let the dust cover me forever. I looked at my hands. They were ruined, just like my life, just like the spirits of my people. I wept, not for the pain, but for the realization that we were built for nothing but struggle. The silence of defeat is heavy. It sits on you like a stone. I waited for nothing. Then a sound, a simple rhythmic thumping that didn't sound like a struggle, a log, falling. But it didn't just fall, it moved. It glided across the very ground that held me captive. I reached out. My fingers traced the curve. It was smooth, perfect, a shape that didn't fight the earth. The log didn't have shoulders. It didn't have a back to break. It just was. I pushed a small piece. It didn't drag. It didn't scream against the dirt. It ran. It went so far, so easily, like it was dancing on the air itself. My heart began to race. I looked at the sled, our burden. Then I looked at the disc, the answer. I saw it then. I saw the change. The weight didn't have to be a curse. If the earth wouldn't let go, we would find a way to roll over it. I didn't feel the blisters anymore. I didn't feel the ache. I had a secret, and it was burning inside me. Let them stare. Let them wonder. Tomorrow the world would be different. I could feel it. I needed wood, thick, strong wood that could hold the world up. I dragged it, one last time, the old way. I worked into the night. The shadows were my only witnesses as I began the great shaping, stone against wood, strike after strike. My arms were tired, but my spirit was awake for the first time in years. I wasn't just carving wood. I was carving a path out of the dirt, a path to something better. The sun rose and fell, and still I worked. I didn't need food. I didn't need rest. I needed the circle. It had to be perfect. The earth is a harsh judge of anything that isn't true. It had to be round. The first one. It felt like a miracle in my hands, a piece of the sun made of wood. But one was not enough. To carry the world, we needed two. So I began again, my hands knowing the way. I needed a spine to connect them, a bridge between the circles, a straight line in a world of jagged edges. She tests the branch's thickness against the holes in the discs. It narrows visibly as she refines the fit. The first joining. I held my breath, but it wasn't right. It wobbled like a dying bird. It fought itself. Failure is just a teacher with a cold voice. I listened. I learned. It wasn't round enough. Not yet. I tried to force it. I tried to make it work before it was ready. And the world laughed. The wood snapped. The circles ran away from me, but they didn't drag. Even in failure, they showed me the way. They wanted to roll. I went back to the stone, back to the wood. I made them truer. I made them stronger. I bound them with the strength of my will. This time there would be no snapping. This time the wood would hold. This time we would move. I touched it, just a nudge, and it moved. It didn't fight me. It followed me, like it had been waiting for me to ask. I felt it in my hands, the lightness of a miracle. The earth was no longer my enemy. We were partners now. One stone, a weight that would have made me gasp before. Now, it was nothing. A feather on the wind. I added more and more. The wood didn't groan. The earth didn't bite. The circles just turned. I filled it until it was a mountain on two small circles. I waited for the collapse. I waited for the snap. But it held. It held everything. All the struggle, all the pain of the tribe. It held it all and asked for more. I laughed, a sound I hadn't heard in years. It was so simple, so beautiful. Why had we never seen it? The weight was gone. Not because the stones were lighter, but because we were finally smarter than the dirt. I took the rope. I didn't lean, I didn't strain, I just walked. And the world followed me. I was no longer a beast of burden. I was a traveler. And the road ahead looked very short. The rocks tried to stop us. The roots tried to snag us. But the circles just climbed over them. They didn't care. Every obstacle was just another thing to roll over. The earth had lost its grip on us. We were free. I ran. I ran with the weight of 10 men behind me, and I felt like I was flying. I felt alive. The sound of the wheels was the new heartbeat of the tribe, a steady, rolling promise of a new era. I arrived before the sun had even begun to sink. I arrived with my head high and my back straight. I stood in the center of our new home, the first witness to the end of the long drag. I waited for them to see. One by one, they saw. They dropped their bundles. They forgot their pain. They just stared. It was a silence of wonder. The kind of silence that happens when the world changes and you're the first to know. They came closer. They touched the wood like it was a god. They didn't understand, but they could feel the truth of it. The wheel turned, and in that turn, the history of our people shifted. We would never drag again. I showed them. I gave them the rope. I watched as the realization hit them one by one. It was their gift now. He pulled it with a finger. He laughed, a sound that echoed across the valley. The burden was gone. The world had become a smaller place, a faster place, a place where we could finally look up at the stars. The world had become a smaller place, a faster place, a place where we could finally look up at the stars. The elder came to me. He didn't say a word. He didn't have to. The pride in his eyes was enough. I was just a girl who was tired of dragging. But today, I was the one who taught the world how to roll. The first wheel was just the beginning. Tonight, we rest. Tomorrow, we build a new world, one circle at a time. I am Tuva, and this is the story of how we stopped dragging and started moving. The first wheel, a revolution in every turn.